Yo, welcome back to Genshin Impact. In our last episode, we played Kazuha's story quest in order to play the interlude chapter, aka Wanderer story quest, which we will do for today. But before we do this, there is a new character trial, or should I say two more new character trials, which I'm very looking forward to see, because I have no idea what either of their playstyles is gonna look like. So Baiju is the new 5-star. And I have guaranteed pity on the event banner, but I won't pull for Baiju because I'm not really interested in his character. But let's see what his playstyle is like. Baiju's elemental skill will pursue nearby opponents, dealing several instances of... I have no idea what weapon he even is. I think he's probably a polearm. It would make sense for him to be a Wait, he actually is a catalyst because I saw his weapon yesterday. I was gonna say, he looks like a catalyst. Baiju's elemental skill will pursue nearby opponents, dealing several instances of dendro damage before returning to him and restoring HP to all his party members. Okay, so he's a healer, a new 5-star healer, and the first dendro healer, I think. Or what element was Yao Yao? I think Yao Yao was probably the first dendro healer. When his elemental burst is unleashed, Baiju will enter the pulsing clarity state and periodically generate a short duration shield. When that shield duration ends or it breaks it, it will heal Baiju's own active character and unleash Spirit Vane attacks against nearby opponents. Alright.
When on the road, one should take ample time to pause and appreciate the wondrous scenery along the way.
You're about to collapse, aren't you?
Okay, I can't even remember what his voice sounds like. Oh, he's like one of those characters where you don't even see that he is using a weapon. I don't really like his movement. I don't know which character, but like recently when I played, I think it was Nilu when I played one of the events off screen. I realized that some characters have like movements that take a lot of time for the animation. Like with him right now, he's doing his little hand movements and it's like, it's not the playstyle I, prefer. I like it when I'm like, like him, I could just slash, 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 slash. This is like the reason why I like Ayaka so much, for example. Or like Ayato if I would have him, because you can like just spam with these characters. And with him, it feels like it's taking forever because his movements are taking so long. I mean, it technically does not take forever, but it just feels weird when playing. It's like trying to slow me down. I don't like characters with that playstyle. I am very sorry. I'm a Sonic fan, okay? I need fastness. Is that even a word? I need speed. Well. That's why I even prefer playing with Xingqiu right now in a trial. But I gotta do this, I need the Primogems. I don't do dailies or anything, I need Primogems, so... Also, we still have Kave. Is that even how you pronounce his name? It feels so wrong every time I say it. I just think I'm mispronouncing, but I don't know how else it could be pronounced. I think Kave is... Is he Pyro, or does he just look Pyro is what I'm thinking. I think he is Pyro, and I think he is... No wait, he's a Claymore character, because I just saw a cosplayer talking about which Claymore they should craft for Kave, so I think he's a Claymore user. Otherwise I would have said Polearm, because Genshin, I just assumed at some point that every character that's coming out is a Polearm, because we mostly get Polearm characters, so I guess that's fair. Did this snake just talk? Okay, I don't know the name of the snake. Was it like Shang or something? Sheng? I don't know. Something with a C and something with a S, I guess. I can't remember anything. It's been ages since I've been in Liyue, guys. Technically, probably will be back to Liyue soon after this whole thing, once we're done with what we're doing this episode, because Baiju's story quest also came out, and I'm trying to catch up on story quests, is what I'm saying. Okay. Damn, he looks like a pirate, and I'm all here for this. Kave's elemental skill can deal dendro damage across a large AoE and will cause all dendro cores within that area to burst immediately. After this talent, an architect... Oh, I forgot he's an architect. Plus point for that one. I still can't pull for him because I'm gonna get Baiju and I don't want to play Baiju. Arita's undertaking is unlocked when attacks from Dendro cores hit Kave. He will also recover HP based on his elemental mastery. Okay, nice. Sorta like with Dia, that like they can heal themselves. His elemental burst will allow his normal charged and plunging attacks to temporarily be converted to Dendro damage. Okay, so is he Pyro? I don't know. It increases their attacks AoE. During this time, all Dendro cores created through bloom reactions triggered by all his own party members will deal more damage when they burst. What element are you, sir? He's Dendro. I could have sworn that his vision was red. What? What is that thing? Okay. Whatever. I am in confusion. Okay, what weapon do you have? Okay, a claymore.
Sight clear.
It feels like I'm playing Super Smash Bros. What is going on? Is he even using a sword with his hand? It's just flying in front of him. It's literally just flying in front of him. Scanning out. I'm very sad that he is only a 4-star character. I was also really sad that Toma was a 4-star character. They always do this. I'm glad we get like more blonde guys in the game. Blonde guys with red eyes even. And then they do this and make them 4-star characters. So it's not really worth playing them because their playstyle isn't as cool as it should be for having such cool design. I hate this. Sorry, I'm not a Baiju enjoyer. We could have had it all. Rolling with my claymore. Oh, that looks fancy. Just having a slow walk. Oh my god, that's so cool. You know, like the other characters are like dashing. He's like just walking while the sword is flying around him. That's actually a badass move. You know what? I like this. Man, and I thought when I read through his character instructions that, oh, he can switch elements because he gets a Dendro bonus even though he's a Pyro character. Well, turns out I read too much into that and my knowledge wasn't peaking. But that's still badass. Look at him just menacingly, what's it called? Menacingly walking towards you while having, no, walk towards the camera. Look at this! Oh my god. I could walk to the camera and still deal damage. Oh, I need to not die. Maybe. That would be pretty cool. Ha! Take this, take this. He's actually okay as a support, but I don't know, I don't really put that much into... Should have closed the window before recording. I hope you can't hear my neighbor's dog barking outside. I never put that much energy into, well, leveling 4-star characters up and like doing their talents and whatever. But I want to make a pull on the standard banner. I don't even have enough primogems. Oh my god. I really haven't played this game in a while and it shows. Anyways, any slays, I am on my way to the Sanctuary of Surastana, where we need to talk to Nahida probably, because that's where we left off after Yarkon Quest, and she said some pretty interesting things, which I never got back to, but she'll probably give us a little rerun on the conversation, so we can get back into the topic in a second now. Let me in! Wait, how do I get to the Sanctuary of Surastana? Where do I find that on the map? I thought it was here. Okay, I'm getting closer apparently. I have no idea, I just always spawned in there. I never think I had to actually go there, or did I? I can't remember. I can't remember. The map of Sumeru City is still hella confusing to me. Because you have like all these tunnels and then this and there and I'm like what and where, and the map is like here and I'm like no, it's not here. You see, it's not making any sense. And I don't know where to go. This can't be right. Also, I'm losing stamina. Where is the fucking Sanctuary of fucking Surastana? Because I got no idea. Let me in. But where should you let me in? Where is the inn? I should be let... No! And I hate everything.
The wind rises.
Come here. Right. Do not fall down. Do not fall down. Thank you. Go to the sanctuary of Surastana. The what and the where to the who to the where now? Genshin, why are you doing this to me? Teleport waypoint unlocked. Just better leading me right into the... Oh, wow. Okay, good. On the other hand, I'm glad I didn't teleport there, because otherwise I wouldn't have time for a test trials.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna?
Yeah.
But that's all the way in
Yeah, I was
Inazuma.
confused about that too.
Is it just Paimon, or is it kind of unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Let's go listen in.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
Something electro, probably. Alright, inversion of Genesis. I just misread this as Gnosis and was already fearing for the worst. Like Gnosis. Oh god. I was like trying to be like sassy. No sis, no girl, but I was like no sis, looking at Aoife, who has no sister. Well, sorry for pouring salt into the wound.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this
What are you guys
paper.
talking about?
Ugh, if only we knew where to find
I'm
that
here.
traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd
Hi,
know about.
I'm the encyclopedia. Are you looking for me?
Oh, you're the traveler, you
Yes.
say?
The traveler.
Hey,
The only
what's
one.
with that face? Don't believe
What's with
us?
that? That's just his face. If you don't believe me, I'll go.
No,
He hasn't said
no,
anything.
of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
Yeah.
This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kind of lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatara Suna?
That's the one that got shut down because there was too much electro energy, right? We are talking about the same place, right? Or was that the Tatarigami? There's so many words that start with Tata something. I can't even remember anything.
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see.
Sorry.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatara Suna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara Suna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Or was that the island which we never completed, the foggy one? I can't even remember the name.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
Katsuragi sounds familiar.
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger. Someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
Scaramouche.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Could it be?
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story?
I didn't pay attention. Is my sister one of them?
Right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Yeah. Kazuma?
The swordsmith?
Yeah,
Yeah, like Ishin Art?
That's why we had to play the quest, I see now.
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more? Tell me about it.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a puppet.
See, I knew it's Scaramouche. Who else would it be? The Shogun puppet that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma as we speak. It couldn't be her. The Kabukimono has to be the Balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna? Yeah, that's kind of questionable. Didn't know he was this old.
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Oh, you read me well. Claire Paimon, hope she keeps her mouth shut. Paimon!
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Alright. Author Sawada, Extract 1. A man arrived in Tatarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied laborers working along the mountain roads toward the factories. Their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones, they walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. Do my eyes deceive me, Sir Miyazaki? I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City could have been easy on you. Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey, expression relaxed. While Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ships, showed upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? And what about the good news? Oh my god, this text is long as fuck. That was so, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with the other workers until the path's end. A young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flames on the furnace before him. Now the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for the intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too, then, was the flame watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the Watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the Watcher turn. This Watcher was Niva, armory officer in administration of Tatarasuna. Born to the Niva clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishin art, Niva never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all his accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niva as he adjusted his expression and said, "It is as you have said, sir. The elders of your clan and city do not think highly of your plan, yet I still believe it be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested." Niva studied the text and nodded. "We should try some of the new forging techniques, whether Kaidehara says yay or nay." Why did I say yay? It says yeah. Well, whatever. Katsuragi frowned and with a sigh he said, "Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs. And still, you see improvement each day with terrifying drive. Should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss." And it goes on. Niva smiled, replying, "And how goes the forging of your lord's great light, Katsuragi?" Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his 2 friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so he groused, "I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niva. The jokes of us unlearned men are nothing before you." Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niva released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peaked and was round, and in the light of fires looked like an oiled jewel. The young man placed some boxed food at the side and nodding, "Be prepared to leave." Katsuragi called out after him, "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it?" The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while he answered, "Very well, I'll try it." "You're welcome to the food. We all eat the same fare after all," Niva said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Extract number 2. The Kabukimono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place the thunderclouds roiled, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk bade the clouds to kneel upon the land, its supplication mirroring the Kabukimono, with knees bent and face pointed towards the waters. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kabukimono, bearing down him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his steadying gaze was refined by time, he understood. The cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a finishing bolt drew near, the lights of its boat flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist unspooled across the sea, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly he exclaimed, "It is but dusk. How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides?" Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its berefitness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kabukimono stood idle, slanting his head to steady the grand wreck. Naught but half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop it landed at the Kabukimono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. Yet he did not, for a dark cloud swelling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabukimono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabukimono. Extract number 3. Katsura, so the darkness, hid inside Skirmisher's body, or what is going on? Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord, things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niba, but there is no trace of him." And much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send us any missive. Look. Mikoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy-laden. I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return. Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's broad shift shoulders beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather and might never morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatarazuno as whole. And might even morph, yeah. Over 10 people had already perished, that was why Katsuragi's recoiled as if struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now, in drips and drips. That was why they had to set out to seek aid. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail, the clouds had only just begun to form them. Traveling from Tatarazuno to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth, till the Kabukimon himself had departed upon the tides under foul skies and ominous fortunes. It had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tatarazuno was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone and none could find him. Afterwards, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but very soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew ever more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself strained against his discontent fury. His face had grown to resemble the rambling clouds above. Suddenly a figure flashed by. The presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore. For a moment they swayed, and then like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps? Nagamasa bellowed in fury. You dare address the Niwa directly? Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to materialize beyond reach but not beyond sight. A ghastly apparition indeed. Was it you who slew my people? Nagamasa hauled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As his senses returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the rest of this work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities born from an imagination well utilized. Why did you have me read this all out? You could have made a cool animated cutscene or something.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
No! Can I just burn it? It's not canon, it's fanfiction, isn't it? Oh god. A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Tatarazuno area. I already hate this quest. I've been reading for like 20 minutes. Details. This text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Valhumana's Whale Cutter project. It has yet to be numbered. Author Akaba. Abstract. The Tatarazuno's area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithing industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might be a hidden history behind these events that transpired. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. Glossary. Tatarazuno area. Raiden Gyokaden. Mikoshi Nagamasa. Kabukimono. Introduction. This paper continues and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, in his report on the happily hidden tales of Tatarazuno, and is intended to further this avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electro Archon, also known as the Raiden Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from the Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metalwork yet linger about Tatarazuno, which was a central pillar of the forging industry. I don't even know where Tatarazuno is, I can't remember what place had that name. There the Mikoshi and Niwa clans, along with an eccentric puppet, serve as the 3 windows of insight we need to investigate the truth behind what happened. Body. Strange notes from the Tatarazuno area. Their contents are as follow. 1. Perhaps I overstep, but I think that Sir Nagamasa's mood grows better when he forges blades. The obsession to cleanse the stain of the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Also, Sir Katsuragi discovered a nameless eccentric while patrolling around Nasuchi Beach. 2. The inspector bought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the wise army officer. 3. We at least made a single Nagamaki. We call it the Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits as he said the wise armory officer. Nozomu was so taken by the beauty of the Daitatara Nagamasa that he drew a picture of it, and he performed a sword dance with that wandering eccentric. 4. and we could not find that eccentric. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own Nagamaki into the furnace's flame. Inazuma could not abide by that order and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. 5. Inazuma died that night. I dare say that while Sir Katsuragi may have committed malfeasance, the hell is that word, it was that of the goodness of his heart. 6. Kinichiro hid the Nagamaki in Nozomu's drawing in the arsenal. Nagamasa is harsh but also knows right from wrong, but even so he is not amenable to reason. This name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I and some households of Tatarasuna have not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother Chiyo, and we trust him. I also remain unwillingly to forget the joy of creating the Dai Tatara Nagamasa with him, and the joy of watching that nameless eccentric perform that sword dance with Katsuragi. 7. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts, one for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one to be left in Tatarasuna itself to prevent theft. If Tatarasuna is the place where I'm thinking about, then I know that there is a key somewhere. But I think I just opened it already and that was just treasure chests in there. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found, so I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within treasure chests in Tatarasuna. We probably have to go to Tatarasuna with Scaramouche on this quest, right? Anyways, the 7 notes mentioned prior had been scattered across the Tatarasuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, though the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other, as the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. Rumi once mentioned in the Happily Hidden Tales of Tatarasuna, herefore known as Hidden Tales. No, wait. That name sounds familiar. Because we find, like, these torn, like, pieces of paper somewhere when we go fishing or, like, exploring in Inazuma. But I don't think that has anything to do with that. Or I don't know. That in the past, researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tatarasuna and Inazuma. Though the place has fallen into some degree of disrepair since the tales were written, things have improved since the time when I wrote my original article. Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains a place most inhospitable, and residents of Tatarasuna may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Tatarasuna's golden age centuries ago when it was administered by Armory Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. Yet the elders among the locals with deeper ties to the region also seem to stress the fact that there were strange rumors surrounding the homeland's past. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A very small number, however, mentioned the word puppet. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following piece of information came to light. Alright, this seems to be interesting. A puppet did once appear in Tatarasuna. Its visage was elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint lines of its body. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seemed to possess special joint lines that would fade with time, potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. Okay, interesting. The name of the puppet was known to almost none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it appearing around Tatarasuna, while others mentioned encountering it in the central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach. Tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters toward Inazuma City. What it was that the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which can also be read as Kabukimono, is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in peculiar manner. It is understandable, therefore, why this character would have left such an impression. Should the people of Tatarasuna indeed have had a puppet in their midst incurring mass panic, a good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large. Then a puppet would have very likely become a local resident. What is less well known is if the Kabukimono was just another title for this puppet. Perhaps because it was unlikely dressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics. A workable theory, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it can be retained as an analytical lens of sorts. A list of individuals related to Tatarasuna has been compiled here based on historical documents from Inazuma. Starting from the administrations, the records are as follows. Armory Officer Niwa. Full name Niwa Hisahide. He was the inheritor of the Ishin art and successor to the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Akame and Kaedehara clans, were together known as the Ishin Sansaku. Records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talent in the administration of territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but he was suspected to have left Tatarasu with his family following the incident. Vice Admiral Officer Miyazaki. Full name Miyazaki Kaneo. He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown, and he primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personal management. He was of affable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Mikoshi Nagamasa. Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. The successor of the Mikoshi clan adopted son to only warrior Mikoshi Chiyo, and the younger adopted brother to Mikoshi Michihiro, also known as Iwakura the successor. With his mother missing and abandoned by his brother, Nagamasa alone bore the family name, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. Though records state that Mikoshi Nagamasa was a stubborn figure, he was also noted to be a person of a moral virtue and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation, and specially requested special instruction from Miyazaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade Daitatara Nagamasa was forged, he used it to slay his subordinate Katsuragi for reasons unknown at present. Subordinate Katsuragi. Katsuragi's full name and background remain unknown. Despite all the materials I have sorted through, I have yet to find any more additional personal information regarding him. As one of Mikoshi Nagamasa's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then on, he swore to stick by his lord through thick and thin, and to give his life in service if it was but asked of him. Kabukimono, full name unknown, background unknown. From the many resources I have compiled combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character might have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. The Kabukimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness. According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tatarasuno by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kabukimono first arrived in Tatarasuno, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any word of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that the Kabukimono was there when the Daitatara Nagamasa was forged, though his trail ends before Mikoshi Nagamasa slew Katsuragi. I believe that the Kabukimono was indeed the aforementioned puppet and that he quite likely had a hand in Katsuragi's death. Seems that the rest of this paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure though, a lot of thought was put into it. Please don't make me read anymore, please, I swear.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Has this guy ever even written an essay? It sounds more like a novel. Sounds like a fanfiction.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle
I'll
on
leave
this.
it to you. I'll leave you to it.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Finally, we're free. Oh my god, I wasted the whole episode reading this dude's fanfiction.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer,
Most
doesn't
likely, yes.
it? Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
Wait, that's his old version. We're imagining things. He's Animo now. He's an emo now. What's wrong?
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
His old skin, though. Yeah, that's his old design. Why?
The balladeer! No, it can't happened? He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Wait, no. Oh, right. I've been confused. We haven't seen this version in the game yet. In the story, I mean, he's just... The playable version looks like that. His actual version, which he looked like when we last saw him, was his usual skin still. I was confused. I was like, how did he change outfits? Hello? Where can I find... Oh. Do I have to fight him again? Is that what's happening? Dude, I almost have to end the episode. It's been so long. Jesus. Alrighty. I hope there will be another point that is giving me the option to end the video then. Oh boy. I can't see you. Hello. Oh, Nahida. And Skarmu. I can take pictures in the Sorostana. Oh my god. Hello there. May I join the conversation, my friends? What are they talking?
Traveler, Paimon, there you are.
Were you waiting to gather us with
Nahida,
him?
bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around
She's
in
literally
public.
standing there.
Did he escape or... Ah,
The Hat Man.
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Sorostana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to
Do we actually need his knowledge maybe to find out more about her sister?
It was my idea to set the Balladeer
Why would you do
free.
that?
We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul.
I can do investigation in Ermin. So for you, why do we need this guy free?
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
I trust this guy as much as I can throw his hat. I can't because it functions as a boomerang and keeps flying back immediately.
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it
Can't
already?
say I haven't tried multiple times. He's like a
Flatter
cockroach.
yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
He's like La Cucaracha.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between
Or a
us!
potato wedge. I like potato wedges. You can give me one.
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Is this the Archon who literally made a deal with Dottore? Like one of the most dangerous Fatui, and then still proceeds to give him the Gnosis. For no reason at all.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the
Yeah,
doctor.
but why and how and...
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position.
Yeah, but pretty sure we fought that after defeating him before, and then he came back literally as a god, so I wouldn't say.
Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Former? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
He tossed you out like trash.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to
Really?
be.
What a crying shame. We're like still making fun of him.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nihira, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time.
Do we?
Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nihira, are you serious about this?
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
For me?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Oh.
You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he betrays us?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
Have we ever seen him interact with Child? I don't think so, by the way.
Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection.
It's called the quest menu.
In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease.
But I'm putting my life at risk for this.
Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Glad to be able to help, I guess.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Hell yeah. Let's go back to Irminsul. Oh my god. It has been a while. What if we actually get to, like, hear our sister's voice or something?
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to
Yeah, the
last
sky
time.
isn't red anymore, doesn't...
The colors
Yeah.
are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
And it's lagging. It's lagging more. That didn't happen last time. Wow. It's like living a pastel-colored dream.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, But I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Ermin's soul ahead of you.
Now he doesn't want me to babysit you.
Shut your beak, Jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Alright.
Fine, let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to
Who do you
fall
think
behind.
you are for bossing me around? Also, if this is gonna be a domain, then will we actually be able to play with Scaramouche with his current skin? That would be interesting.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring
He
than
may
us.
also be like 400 years old, so...
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get
Can I
going.
throw your hat like a boomerang and kill enemies with it?
Or did you need some time to mentally prepare
Never, I
yourselves?
was born ready. Don't mess with me.
Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
There's no need for all the biting sarcasm. Focus on doing your job.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Start out online. Link start. Huh.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
Alright. Let's go. I'm watching the Super Mario movie tonight. Are we in a domain? I was low-key hoping to end the video here, you know. Oh,
Wow. So this is the inside of Irminsul.
it's different than what I imagined. Yeah, it really is. I don't know what I was imagining.
Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Hey, well, we're in Avatar now.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything
Yeah,
he
I get
says?
you, totally same. It's the way he talks.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
How about I just stand here and not move? Okay, I will move. But backwards. Now what's that thing?
These sapling things have spread out.
The fragments have dissipated and the...
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch
Sorry,
them.
didn't know. Location's changed, looks like we've been transferred to another path. Oh, yeah, true. So, don't touch it, or he did touch it? Man, we keep despawning if you keep touching everything
It looks the same
shiny.
in every direction.
I just run. Space is indeed unusual, but it seems that the ability is more used to it than I. Continue exploring. No!
No wonder you mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually.
Are
telling
we
the
even
truth.
getting closer though? I can't tell. Okay, we are.
Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little?
The floor's cracking. Guys, the floor's cracking. Oh.
We're here.
What a huge tree!
Looks like there's like the Dada symbol, you know. This is the center of Soul. All the information in the world is flowing through it. So there must be something about my sister.
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
He hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui. And that's what I think, that he was like kind of like their watchdog, I don't know. First Akaban, several stories, now this. What a strange individual. Right, if that was really him, then he was already like kind of guiding them through the whole thing.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share
Yeah,
it
share
with
with the
us.
class.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Nahida, is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
It's like going in a secret hidden Discord channel.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
Guessing that you don't want us to disturb the Balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is
Until
great.
Paimon accidentally replies out loud, then it's over.
So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to
He
what
just
you
wants
say.
to piss us off, but he doesn't want to piss off Kusanali. Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into a page at Party's DI. You relate what you saw in about this mindful in Party's DI. Can't
So,
remember.
you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal
Oh.
turned the Balladeer into the person he is
Right, we
today.
have seen that one animated story about him when he was a child.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all
Also
of
the
that.
truth behind it.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
You tell Nahida about the story Akaba and Savara are writing.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
Well,
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
to think with brain cells, there's nothing going on in here, just elevator music. No, I actually wouldn't have been surprised if you just casually joined in on the conversation.
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
Every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul.
Well, apparently not so. Apparently one of us wasn't a descender, so...
Wait, how did you know about that? Didn't Nahida tell you?
She just sees through us, I guess.
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about
Every
you.
conversation with you is hard work, but your attitude is better than I thought.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
Oh.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could
Memory
it be?
core?
Anonymous data.
Is he wearing a fanny pack on his back? Oh my god.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
That name. Niwa was the man in charge of Tatarasuna, plus he belongs to a lineage of Ishinart.
Whoa!
Lineage, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna see Scaramouche in that memory as well? Oh, we are actually in the memory.
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed,
Wow,
everyone
Scaramouche
else.
looked really different.
Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. People are gainfully employed. Their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing Crystal
Is
Marrow.
that guy that we see right now talking, or are we seeing him while someone else is talking?
The forging industry with Crystal Marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. All passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me.
Yeah,
From
sure.
the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. And it has been my great honor to befriend
Never
you
heard
all.
of this guy.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the
Also,
truth?
Niwa is like the closest character that we got to what people actually would dress like in real life. I don't know. He just looks like some random dude you would meet in the city and not in Genshin Impact Tibet, if that makes any sense.
My good sir, what do you
He
mean?
looks, I don't know. Not
I
of
tried
the
to
time
resist
age
thinking
from
it was all
Genshin.
connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming
Yeah,
rate.
right, Skater Boy.
And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
For what? No, I liked him.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
Some people wait a lifetime. Sorry.
You!
Don't just kill him, I liked him. He was serving swag.
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well. At least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start.
Is that Scaramouche actually? What?
It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all.
Oh, no.
And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
No, make me go back to hate Scaramouche.
And what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Is that Doctor's voice?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person.
It's Doctor's voice, right?
Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a
He's like Pinocchio. But I also thought his voice kind of sounded like Doctor, even though I can't remember what Doctor's voice sounded like before he changed his voice right now.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
Yeah, I knew I recognized the voice. So that's like one of the versions he said, that he can create multiple versions of himself at different age stages or something.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
So Scaramouche already got betrayed back then because they killed his friends.
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it?
That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet.
Oh, he gave his heart to Scaramouche.
Make
Oh,
no
no.
mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to
I think he can't hear you anymore.
I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
I hate this guy. Ah. How dare you? How could you?
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Okay, so he wasn't made out to be evil, they just found him and used him for their sake. Oh man, that's what happens when you get picked up by the wrong people.
Hey, are you alright?
No, he just learned about his truth.
Dottore. Dottore!
Yeah, okay, now he's finally on our side. Now he wants revenge as well. We got him. He's at his breaking point, but we got him.
Good. Good.
You wanna kick some ass together?
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
He was the one behind the Tatarazuna incident, yeah.
But why did we see things from his perspective?
Oh, that was Scaramouche's perspective. Okay, so those memories were forgotten by him, probably.
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
This betrayal was a lie that he has believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the doctor's experiment? Yeah, probably. If the betrayal never happened, it existed only in his imagination, but where does this leave him?
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him
let's go
right
over there.
now.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Ah, poor guy. I'm actually feeling sorry for him.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so
Because
worked
he actually got manipulated and gaslighted from the start, and he actually could have had a normal life with these guys.
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it had protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on a Raiden Gokudan 100 years ago. But doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Mystery of Tatarasuna, wait for a while.
Tottori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
I actually walk away. I wanna end the video. Can you hurry up with your mental breakdown over there, please? Can I fall down here? I actually can't. No! A while later. Oh, okay, good. That's all I had to do to trigger it.
Shall we see how he's doing?
Let's, carefully tap his shoulder. Hey, buddy.
Hey, you alright?
No.
That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan. Yeah.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Oh, he's digging for more information still?
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Are you sure?
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Not unexpected, but still, thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh?
Give me
About
it.
what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world.
But when she arrived in this world after we got separated, Conria should have already been destroyed.
Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the
To
summoning.
which summoning?
The heavens Responded?
Was she summoning me in order to, like, fix what happened in Canria?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time.
That's probably Dainsleif, right? Lived with your sister for a time, that's Dainsleif. That's probably his title gonna be when there's ever gonna be a banner for him. Why?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for
Can
myself
you stop being
now.
so creepy? Can you, like, act normal for a second?
Huh? What have
Oh
you
my
done?
god, he's taking revenge on us. I haven't done anything.
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very
Or is he
long.
trying to tell us something that Nahida doesn't need to know about?
I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What could he possibly know? Please, nothing related to mathematics. I can't answer that question.
Give me your hand.
No. Okay. This is awkward.
Can you hear my voice inside
Oh
your
my
head?
god. How? Why? Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Oh my god. He looked so sad just for a second. I'm almost crying, man. Oh, this poor guy has been through so much. Why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a
Paimon,
second.
we got the 21st century. Let the homies be gay for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me.
Wait, that look. Did he see me hesitate? But that was because I didn't know about Great Electrica Devata. I think by not denying it immediately.
So
No!
long.
No, I skipped.
I suggest you get yourselves out of
I
here
was trying to
quickly.
read my thoughts.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running
Paimon, we have to stop him.
Fast
No,
reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing
No,
each other
we
again.
can help you. No, don't go. Don't go. We can put you out of this misery.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist.
Can you still do the fandango?
Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Oh, this poor guy. Oh my god, now he's being all lonely.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything
I'm actually glad I
stupid.
managed to pull him before.
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer!
Did he not just say the name doesn't exist anymore?
Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
In the next episode, please. Let me out of this domain. Oh god, I'm still here. Ah, Jesus Christ. Yes?
Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
You tell Nahida everything that happened.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
I'm trying. I've been wanting to do that since 20 minutes now. So we are already out of Irminsul. Please stop talking to me. Please only give me like a little tiny line of dialogue and then let me close the game. Nice loading screen we're having, right? Nice weather we're having and a loading screen tonight. Today. Elemental reactions. When dendro cores created by dendro and hydro reacting with one another encounter pyro, they will explode violently. This is a derivative of the bloom reaction that has been named Virgin. Thank you for breaking the silence.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
Now, are we out or are we in?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb
No, I
you.
want to help you.
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Can't kiss and tell. Paimon doesn't remember quite a lot regret about her inability. His question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip the part about great Lord Rukadavata for now and focus on the Balladeer. You tell Paimon what the Balladeer asked you and what he might have been planning.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible!
It's not easy, that's for sure. Oh, are we actually gonna change the past that nothing has ever happened that he's done? That would be wild. I thought he's just gonna be like a reset of the mind.
Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Great example.
So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Paimon's so
Maybe he wants to
confused.
erase himself from history. No, we don't want that to happen. Yeah. Paimon, are you okay?
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Not necessarily, but maybe.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, maybe people in Inazuma will be affected. Can't imagine what that situation would look like. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden, Gokada, and Kazuha, Ayaka, Ayato. Will Asmio disappear? No! Ayaka, my beloved. I can deal with the other disappearing, but Ayaka.
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next?
Exit the game.
Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go
Yes.
to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight. So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake, and Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying
Oh my God.
salad. Also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and
Am I falling asleep? Please, don't, no, Genshin. Genshin. Don't make me... Am I playing as Paimon? What's wrong?
What
Oh no, he already started. Oh no.
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking
You were
about.
getting so worried about the situation with the Balladeer that you started listing foods.
The
Oh,
Balladeer?
Paimon forgot already.
Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name, though.
Oh my god, it's happening. Oh no! Paimon doesn't remember the Balladeer. That must mean he actually pulled it off. But why can't I still remember? How did he have that ability? This doesn't make sense.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
It's nothing.
So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
If this is really happening, I need to know what else has changed. Paimon, come with me.
Okay, sure. Where
I want to go back to Inazuma.
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Now's not the time to explain. I need to check on my wife, Ayaka. Alright, guys. Finally. Time to take a break. Talk the Dance of Destruction. Guys, see you on the next episode of Genshin Impact, where we need to track down this little guy. Until then, Shazam. Bye-bye.
The train headed for the Mystic Ruins will be departing soon.